church noted for its compassion, in a town noted for its scientific progress, in a country noted for its strength. We stand in need of all three, for we meet in a time of great change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. Despite the striking fact that most of the scientists that the world has ever known are alive and working today, despite the fact that this nation's own scientific manpower has delivered a vaccine at breakneck speed, where most vaccines suffer a fate worse than Devon Lock at the Grand National and fall at the first hurdle, despite that, the vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. No one can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come, but condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of but a half a century. Stated in these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except that at the end of them, advanced man had learned to use the skins of animals to cover them. Then, about 10 years ago, under this same standard, man emerged from his cave to construct other kinds of shelter. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write and use a cart with wheels. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year, and less than 2 months ago, during the whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights, telephones, cars, airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television, nuclear power, and we landed on the moon only a few moments ago. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old, new ignorance, new problems, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas this new knowledge provides promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. Small wonder this dizzying pace of change, often labelled to be the cause of apathy and disenfranchisement of many people in our society, leads to calls from some to slow down. They would have us rest a little while longer, to wait. This has been the case, sadly, for far too long here in Harlow. Our great town is tired now. Its estates are tired, its roads weary, our town centre fatigued. Tragically, this town of ours was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. It was done so by those that looked forward, and so we too must look forward. For what it's worth, I do not attribute the cause of apathy to rapid progress. The apathy many see out there, I do not see. I see that despite the warp speed changes we have seen in so many other aspects of our lives, the means by which democratic institutions operate and engage with its citizens have not matched pace. Often moving at an irritatingly near glacial speed by comparison. Therefore, I often see frustration. Frustration with the decline so keenly observed by citizens, heightened by their collective impotence in not being able to enact positive change. The people of our town have immense civic pride. If they did not, our inboxes would not be overflowing with messages to get hedges cut and mow the grass. When we elected officials knock on the doors, they wouldn't complain to us about the state of things. The fact is they do. The fact is they care. It is not enough to give voice to people's concerns. Look at Twitter and Facebook. There's voice enough plenty there, and more besides. No, we must have a progressive and fast-evolving strategy to allow all those who want to engage and bring about positive, meaningful change, both independently, but also in tandem with democratic institutions. Because it's only when we act together, driving as one, we will succeed both as a town and possibly as a country at large. Those who came before us made certain that this town rode the waves of the new town revolutions, embracing new thinking around home construction, social spacing and progressive living. We too must create a new wave, a wave of rebirth and regeneration in our town, and we need to lead it. For the eyes of our townspeople now look to us to achieve this high purpose, and the administration I lead will be one of renewal and regeneration, an Easter Day administration, if you will. As I begin my summation, and if the congregation will indulge me a little here, I intend to draw further upon the words of John F. Kennedy in my concluding remarks, but for providing a contemporary twist. William Bradshaw, speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony, said that all great honourable actions are accompanied with great difficulties, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage. We choose to regenerate our town. We choose to regenerate our town in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organise and measure the best of our energies and skills, because that challenge is one we are willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone. It is for those reasons that I regard the decision of my administration to shift our efforts in regeneration of our town from low to high gear as among the most important decisions that will be made during my time in office. Harlow has been a great place for many to live and work over the past 75 years. If Harlow, in the next 75 years, is to continue to be a great place to live and work, if it's to continue to be a place of enterprise and innovation, if it's to continue to be a green and pleasant jewel in our country's landscape, then it will require all sections of our town society to pull together to bring about its regeneration and renewal. It will not require only my administration's efforts, but the efforts of all. It will require the effort of this town's great local charities, local businesses, both large and small, volunteer groups, partner organisations, indeed all of its people. As it says up there, in common endeavour, we shall succeed. I make that commitment to you all. And that success shall be to the benefit and prosperity of all.